The world knew Kim Taehyung as a legend in tailored suit, the youngest CEO to build an empire that made boardrooms tremble, cold, strict, untouchable, a man whose sharp gaze could silence an entire floor with a single look. But the world didn't know what waited for him behind the gate of his mansion, because the moment Taehyung's car rolled into the driveway, the cold CEO vanished. Inside the house, soft music hummed through the air, mixing with the gentle clatter of utensils. The scent of garlic and butter wrapped around the space like a quiet promise. In the kitchen, Jungkook stood barefoot, sleeves rolled up, hair tied messily as he focused on the pan in front of him. Jungkook, his husband, his childhood sweetheart, the only person in the world who had ever seen Taehyung before the power, before the frame, before the eyes. Taehyung loosened his tie as he walked in, eyes softening instantly at the sight. For a moment he just stood there, watching Jungkook sway slightly to the music, humming under his breath while cooking dinner like it was the most natural thing in the world. This, this was home. Without a word, Taehyung stepped closer and wrapped his arms around Jungkook from behind, pulling him gently into his chest. His chin rested on Jungkook's shoulders, suit still cool from the outside world, heart already melting. "Baby," Taehyung murmured, voice slow and warm, nothing like the one his employees fear. Jungkook startled for half a second before relaxing softly, leaning into the embrace without hesitation. Taehyung tightened his arms just a little, breathing him in like he needed it to survive. "I missed you." Jungkook laughed quietly, cheeks warming. "You say that every day." "And I mean it every day," Taehyung replied, pressing a gentle kiss to the side of Jungkook's neck, careful not to distract him too much. "What are you making?" "Your favorite," Jungkook answered proudly. "You look tired this morning." Those words, simple, sincere, hit Taehyung harder than any business deal ever could. The CEO who ruled the world smiled into his husband's shoulder, holding him like the most precious thing he owned. Outside, Kim Taehyung was power itself, but here in this kitchen, he was just a man hopelessly, completely weak for his Jungkook. Dinner ended with Taehyung completely content, stomach full and heart even fuller. He leaned back against the headboard. Later that night, Jungkook called into his side like he belonged there because he did. Taehyung's fingers traced slow, absent patterns along Jungkook's arm. "Koo, you are so good," he murmured, voice heavy with affection. Jungkook giggled softly, cheeks puffing as he tilted his head up and pressed a quick kiss to Taehyung's cheek. Taehyung smiled instantly, happiness bright and unguarded, then leaned closer, pulling his bunny into his chest. Jungkook snuggled in without hesitation, warm and safe, and soon their breathing sank as sleep claimed them both. Morning sunlight slipped through the curtains. Taehyung walked to an empty side of the bed, only to hear faint sound from downstairs. He smiled to himself. Of course, after a quick shower and getting dressed for work, Taehyung made his way down. The sight that greeted him made his steps slow instinctively. Jungkook stood in the kitchen again, already awake, already cooking, humming softly as if morning were made just for him. Jungkook glanced up and smiled wide. "So baby," he said sweetly, eyes shining. "Come home early today, okay?" Taehyung walked closer, amused. Why? It's something special today." Jungkook squinted at him, grip tightening around the pan. "Did you forget?" Taehyung barely had time to reach before Jungkook lifted the pan threateningly. "Oh," Jungkook said dangerously calm. "You forgot?" Taehyung burst into laughter and quickly closed the distance, wrapping his arm around Jungkook before any pan-related murder could occur. Hey, I'm just teasing, baby," he said, chuckling. "How could I forget? It's our wedding anniversary." Jungkook froze for a second, then laughed too. If he had forgotten, he wanted poking Taehyung's cheek. We had been dead right here. Yeah, Taehyung laughed, bending down to kiss along Jungkook's neck, voice dropping softer. I will come home soon, I promise. Jungkook smiled, eyes fond and full of love. With one last kiss to his bunny cheek, Taehyung grabbed his coat and headed for work, already counting the hours until he came back home. Because no matter how cold the CEO was to the world, his heart would always belong to Jungkook, and he would always come back to him every single time. By afternoon, Jungkook couldn't sit still. It was their wedding anniversary. Taehyung had promised to come home early, and Jungkook, far too excited, decided he wouldn't wait. Dressed neatly, eyes bright, Jungkook headed straight to Kim Taehyung's office, already imagining dragging his husband out by the tie and forcing him into a day of shopping, laughter, and stolen kisses. The receptionist barely had time to react before Jungkook reached the CEO floor. He walked straight to Taehyung's cabin. Didn't knock, didn't hesitate. He pushed the door open and froze. Taehyung sat in his chair, posture stiff, and on his lap sat his personal assistant. Too close, far too close, the air turned ice cold. Jungkook's eyes darkened instantly, fury flashing so sharp it could cut. He glared at the woman first, slow, dangerous, then walked toward them with deliberate steps. Taehyung breath coughed, but Jungkook was already there. In one swift motion, Jungkook grabbed the woman by her hair and yanked her off Taehyung's lap, shoving her hard toward the floor. How dared you? Jungkook hissed, voice shaking with rage. Even touch my husband. The security scrambled up, terrified, eyes wide with panic. Get lost, Jungkook snapped. Now she didn't wait for another word. She ran out of the office like her life depended on it. Silence slammed into the room. Taehyung swallowed hard, throat dry, about to explain, about to say anything. But Jungkook turned to him. That glare hurt worse than any accusation ever could. And you, Mr. CEO, Jungkook said coldly, every word sharp. Come home, right now. Then Jungkook turned on his heel and walked out. Taehyung sat there for half a second longer, stunned. Then he stood up immediately, heart pounding, and followed his husband without a single word. The car ride home was silent. No teasing, no soft touches, no warm smiles. Just Jungkook staring straight ahead, jaw tight, and Taehyung sitting beside him, hands clenched, realizing for the first time how badly he had crossed a line he never meant to. The moment the car stopped, Jungkook get out without a word. Taehyung's chest tightened painfully. His eyes were already burning as he scrambled out after him, panic written all over his face. Cookie, he called softly. Jungkook didn't answer. Inside the house, Jungkook dropped onto the couch, shoulders stiff, hands clenched in his lap. Taehyung followed like he was afraid Jungkook might disappear if he blinked. Slowly, Taehyung lowered himself to the floor in front of him. He sat there on the floor, looking up at his husband like he was the only thing that mattered in the world. His eyes were glossy now, lashes wet. Cookie, Taehyung's voice cracked. Trust me, please, it's not what you saw. Jungkook's gaze dropped to the floor, lips pressed tight, heart flashing across his face. That broke Taehyung completely. He sniffled and leaned forward, wrapping both arms around Jungkook's leg, like he needed to contact to breathe. His forehead pressed against Jungkook's knee. Cookie, trust me, Taehyung whispered desperately. She sat down so suddenly. I was about to push her away. I swear, I was going to. Then you came in. His shoulders shook. I will never, he said, voice trembling. Not even in my dream. I will never touch anyone else. I will never cheat on you. Taehyung tightened his grip. Tears finally spilling. I love you, he cried softly. I love you so much. There is only you, always you. The powerful, fair CEO Kim Taehyung was on his knees, crying, holding on to his husband like his entire world depended on him. Because it did. Jungkook's finger twisted, conflicted emotions swirling inside him as he looked down at the man who had loved him since they were kids, the man who had never once looked at anyone else the way he looked at him. Jungkook swallowed hard. The silence is stretched, heavy, fragile, waiting to break. Jungkook let out a slow, tired sigh. Taehyung looked up instantly, eyes red, tears clinging to his lashes like he was afraid even breathing wrong would make Jungkook disappear. Jungkook reached out and gently wiped Taehyung's hair with his thumb. His touch was soft, but his voice carried weight. "What did I say to you?" Jungkook asked quietly. "The first time I came to your office," Taehyung froze. The memory hit him all at once. 3 months earlier. That day, Taehyung had been glowing with pride. He practically dragged John Jungkook through the building, hand firmly held, excitement impossible to hide. "This is the finance floor," Taehyung said happily. "And that's the boardroom. Oh, and wait till you see my cabin." When they reached it, Taehyung opened the door like he was presenting a treasure. Inside, he was all smile, showing Jungkook the view, his desk, the space where he spent most of his days. He was so happy just having his husband there. But Jungkook wasn't smiling anymore. His eyes narrowed slightly as he noticed it. The way Taehyung's personal assistant stood a little too close, the way she laughed too sweetly, the way her eyes lingered on Taehyung longer than necessary. Taehyung didn't notice. He was too busy being excited, too busy being proud, too busy being dense. When the secretary finally left the cabin, Jungkook crossed his arms and looked straight at Taehyung. "Tai," he said seriously, "the secretary is flirting with you." Taehyung blinked. "What? No, I'm serious," Jungkook insisted. "She crosses boundaries. I don't like it." Taehyung only laughed softly, pulling Jungkook closer. "Baby, you are thinking too much. No one even compares to you." Jungkook frowned but let it go. Because he trusted Taehyung. Because he always trusted Taehyung. Back in the present, Jungkook's hand slowly dropped from Taehyung's face. "I warned you," Jungkook said quietly. "I told you." Taehyung's breath hit. His chest hurt like it was a caving in. "I know. I should have listened." He lowered his head again, voice breaking. "I swear, Cookie, I never saw it. I never meant for this to happen. I should have protected our boundary better." Tears slipped down again as he closed Jungkook's leg gently. "I'm sorry," Taehyung cried. "I'm so sorry I made you doubt me." The cold, powerful CEO, Kim Taehyung, looked smaller than ever, kneeling in front of the man he loved most. Jungkook closed his eyes, pain and love mixing in his chest. He still loved Taehyung, but love, he knew now, also needed to be protected. Jungkook let out another quiet sigh. "Tai, listen to me carefully," he said, voice calmer now. Taehyung looked up instantly, eyes wide and guilty, ready to accept anything. "I never doubted you," Jungkook continued. "Not even for a second. Even when I walked in and saw that, I knew it was your secretary trick. Cookie, I know you," Jungkook said softly. "I know your heart. You only look at me." Relief flooded Taehyung's face as fast he almost cried again. But before he could say anything, Jungkook's expression hardened just a little. "But," Jungkook added, "you did ignore my warning." Taehyung swallowed. "So," Jungkook went on, standing up slowly, "you still need to be punished." Taehyung stiffened. "Punished?" Jungkook crossed his arms, clearly trying not to smile. "I'm still angry, so you are going to do exactly what I say." Taehyung nodded instantly. "Anything, everything." Jungkook pointed toward the kitchen. "First, clean the entire kitchen. Dishes, counters, everything." "Yes," Taehyung said immediately, already standing up. "And after that," Jungkook continued, eyes sharp, "you have vacuuming the whole house, then laundry, then mopping, no complaint." Taehyung didn't exist. "Okay." Jungkook narrowed his eyes. "And you are cooking dinner tonight?" Taehyung nodded again, sincere and obedient. "Yes, Cookie." Watching Kim Taehyung, the fair, untouchable CEO, roll up his sleeve, and start scrubbing the kitchen like his life depended on it. Should have been funny. Jungkook tried to stay angry, he really did, but seeing Taehyung sneak glances at him every few seconds, looking so desperate for approval, made his heart soften despite himself. Do it properly, Jungkook said, turning away so Taehyung wouldn't see the small smile tugging at his lips. Yes, boss, Taehyung replied softly. Jungkook paused, then corrected him. No, he said quietly. Not boss. Taehyung looked up. Husband, Jungkook said. Taehyung smiled, small, relieved, and completely in love, and he scrubbed the kitchen like the fate of the world depended on it. By the time the sun dipped low, the entire house was spotless. The kitchen gleamed, the floors shone, laundry was folded with CEO-level precision, and Kim Taehyung, he was exhausted. Taehyung finished the last score and immediately walked to the living room, only to drop down beside the couch and wrap his arms around Jungkook's waist like a needy child. Cookie, he mumbled, cheek pressing against Jungkook's thigh. I am done. Jungkook looked down at him, pretending to stay stern, but his heart melted instantly at the sight. Taehyung, usually tall, powerful, intimidating, was now clinging to him, eyes soft, shoulders slumped, craving comfort. You are very clingy, Jungkook said quietly. I know, Taehyung admitted without shame, because I'm scared you will still be mad. Jungkook sighed and finally reached down, running his fingers through Taehyung's hair. I'm not mad anymore. Taehyung froze. Slowly he looked up. Really? Jungkook nodded. I forgave you a long time ago. Taehyung's eye filled again. He moved up onto the couch, pulling Jungkook's into his chest, this time arms tight and protective. I'm sorry, Taehyung whispered into his ear. I should have listened, I promise. No ignoring your words ever again. Jungkook leaned into the hug, voice soft, honest. That's all I wanted, Tae. I didn't want punishment. I didn't want control. He looked up at him. I just wanted you to listen to me. Taehyung kissed his forehead gently. I always will. You are my husband, and my home, my everything. The tension finally disappeared. Later that night, they lay coiled together in bed, soft lights glowing, anniversary cake untouched on the table beside them. Taehyung held Jungkook close, fingers interlocked, breathing calm and steady. I almost ruined our anniversary. Taehyung murmured. Jungkook smiled sleepily. You didn't, you learned. Taehyung smiled back, pressing a slow, loving kiss to Jungkook's lip. Happy anniversary, my bunny. Jungkook kissed his cheek. Happy anniversary, my whipped CEO. They laughed quietly, cuddling closer, hearts steady and safe. Because no matter what storms try to reach them, they always choose each other.